What's up, guys? Welcome to the quarantine. I'm your host, Wolf, and today I'm going to take a look at The Captain is Dead by the Game Crafters. It plays 1 to 7 and takes about 75 minutes to play. I'd say it's about accurate, probably closer to 90 minutes, but 75, I don't know if everybody knows how they're playing. Definitely not for 7. 7, you're looking at probably 2 hours. However, I found this game while looking for a good Star Trek game. I wound up finding Fleet Captains, which if you haven't seen my review, check it out. I'll probably link it down here somewhere. Click on that, give that a watch if you're looking for a good Star Trek themed game. However, I stumbled upon this in my search on a thread on Board Game Geek when I was looking for a recommended Star Trek game. And the way this game plays, it takes place in the last 10 minutes of Star Trek but not Star Trek. And the captain is dead, and you're surrounded by Klingons but not Klingons. And half the ship is on fire, and your warp core, but not warp core, is on fire and down. Your job is to repair it and get the fuck out of Dodge before you all die. How does it play? I don't know. Let's find out. Alright, first things first, as with every video. The inside, when you first get the game, is going to pretty much look like this. Minus, I think, 1 or 2 bags. I think I've added my own bag in here. They have these numbers and stuff on the bags. I'm assuming it's just to remember whose goes to who, and they're making everything. And this is it. I'm probably going to make a custom insert for this, purely so I can put a video up for it. It doesn't really need one, but I'm probably going to anyways, because it'll be quick and easy. Now, the game's going to set you back about $50. One big thing that I have to say about the game, when I first got it, this tear, if it's going to... Maybe that's too close? I guess not. Well, I'm sure you can see it anyways. There we go. That tear right there was in the box, or on the box when I first got it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but whatever. However, again, the game cost me about $50. The box is not that good a quality, and neither are any of the components. They're not bad. But they are, when I pay $60 for, say, Eldritch Horror, and they're 10 times the quality of this game. However, that is Fantasy Flight. So the cards, they're on a little bit thicker than card stock. I mean, they're decent enough quality, but for $50, I mean, I would have liked to have seen better. However, I don't regret getting the game. So let's get the game set up, shall we? Alright, now this is The Captain is Dead, fully set up. Now I just have 3 random character pieces on the board. The character pieces, when you first get them, much better. You're going to get this little plastic this little plastic standee with a shitload of stickers, and you have to put the stickers on. Some of them are kind of a pain in the ass to get on, but I mean, I guess they work well enough. But anyways, you're going to set up, and you're going to start in the room color that your character is. So, green, which is primarily science, starts here. And then you're going to get your appropriate card. Now, the game, let's zoom in there, or the focus. The game recommends starting picking, and I cannot agree with that more. And I'll explain a little bit later. But you have all these, the janitor, the hologram, scholar, first officer, admiral. You got a whole bunch of roles, and as with most co-op games, all of your actions you can take are going to be on the back of every character card. Now, again, I'm not going to go through exactly how to play. I will touch on it a bit because it is a fairly simple game to learn. But again, this is a review, not a tutorial. But so you got your character, and the way the characters work is each character has their own or number of actions. Most of them have 4. Some, however, let's see if I can find one here. Some have 5 and have penalties, like the hologram has 5, but anytime teleporter or computers go down, he's confined to the CPU core. And then they all have their own little text at the bottom with special abilities. Now, these are discounts. Every time you do an action that has these in them, you get however many icons are displayed as a discount, so you don't have to pay it. So, for example, let's zoom in over here. I really should loosen this up. Oh, whoa. Alright, so this here, she would get to fire it for free, because one blue, one red. These torpedoes require one blue, one red. It also takes 2 of her actions, her 4, to be able to fire a photon, or a not photon torpedo. So let's zoom it back out here. I'm using my phone, by the way, because anybody who saw my last video saw how crappy my webcam decided it wanted to be. But anyways, so the way this is going to work is you're going to get, as you saw there, so many actions. Once you perform all of your actions and you've done everything you can do, then you're going to draw one of these dreaded cards. And it goes from yellow alert to orange alert, right there, down to the dreaded red alert. I'm going to tell you right now, I've never made it to red alert. We either have won or we've died by then. But when you draw one of these cards, it happens at the end of each player's turn. It's got, the name, Torpedo Overload, Yellow Alert. What happens? Torpedo Tube is offline. So what you're going to do, it's down here. This is the Torpedo Tube. Right here. And flip it over to offline. The damage, whatever was just done, the damage has ruined the Torpedo Tube. So it no longer can be used until you repair it, which, as you see here, repairing it costs 1 action and an engineering, which is the orange card. So we'll put that face down. And then this is going to be discarded over here. If you have, external sensors online, you're able to see the next 2 that are going to be coming down the line, so you can kind of brace for impact. And, around the board, each one of these, stations have on them what they do and what they cost. So, for example, the teleporter. Teleporter costs 1 action. You can teleport to any space. However, there's a bunch of little symbols here. Going from left to right down here. This means it's the only thing you can do if you're wounded. If you're wounded, you lay your character piece down, and you have to go to the infirmary, which is right here. And you spend an action to get yourself back up, which it actually says on, the trauma station. See, to use, spend an action, heal 1 player in the infirmary. So, the teleporter you can use while injured. This means you can use it from any location, and this means you can. This action can be done even if there's enemies in your room, because all enemies do is they are literally just a time sink. They do nothing but take actions. And they wind up being, 1 or 2 here or there, no big deal. But when you have 4 and 5, then there's huge problem because you're taking multiple turns. Because it costs 1 action to kill 1 enemy. If you have 4 of them in the room you need to be in, and before you can do your action, you have to kill all 4 of them. So, teleporter is incredibly useful because if you're stuck in a room and need to get out, you can teleport, move over anywhere else, and you can use that anywhere on the ship. There is no specific room. Really useful. You can also teleport other people, which we actually just realized. The ultimate goal for the game is over here. This is your not warp core. And each time you repair it, which if you see here, you can probably see just how expensive that is. 2 actions plus 5 engineering cards. Which I should probably touch base on. The skill cards that are a little skill deck up here. You got these. These are all the little stupid Fantasy Flight cards. I really hate these. I would have much rather had the bigger, larger cards. But anyways, so you're going to need 5 of these plus 2 actions. So anybody who has engineering discounts are infinitely useful. So anyways, moving swiftly along, you're trying to repair this. And each time you spend this is going to go up 1 notch. And so on and so forth until it gets to engage. As soon as it hits engage, you've won. It's a lot harder said than done. Because here's your shields, and these will slowly go down, and if you take more, like once you hit 0, if you take any more damage, it hits to game over and GG, no re. Then you have persistent ships, like, let's see if I can find one. Here we go. Ships that remain in play. So these would sit right over here. And it says on it, whenever shields take damage, increase that damage by 10%. So if you draw this, if you draw this, reduce shields by 20%. Come on. There you go. Reduce shields by 20%. That means you've just lost 30% of your shields due to 1 damn card. And if you see here,
to repair your shield is not cheap. It's 2 actions plus 2 tactical cards. And as you see here, the art on the game is actually really good. And let's see here. The character art is interesting, to say the least. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. I mean, I think this game would have benefited immensely from Star Trek License. But anyways, and you draw one of these at the end of each player's turn. So, shit gets bad really fast. And then you get anomalies, which are the gift that keep on giving. They sit right here, and they constantly do bad shit until somebody has gone to the lab and used an action plus 4 science to get rid of a damn anomaly. So, for example, this one is especially devastating. Players may not use or repair systems if any other players in their location. There's a yellow alert that does the same thing, but it says unless 2 players. Yeah. Players may not use or repair systems if no other player is present in the location. The science lab is unaffected. So, like, this is stupid difficult. This becomes a priority to get rid of. And there's lots of them. There's a whole bunch of them. Let's see here. You get this. There's one anomaly. There we go. There's one anomaly that actually uses this, and it basically seals off engineering, which really sucks. But the game is just incredibly difficult. Oh, I should probably touch base on battle plans. Battle plans, you will not win without battle plans. I just tell you, every game we've won, it's because of battle plans. If you don't have somebody that's good with command or dedicating all of their time to getting them, you're probably not going to win. But anyways, you also have these torpedoes that can be used to blow up these ships or just not draw the next card, which is good. It doesn't get rid of it. It just makes sure you don't draw it. So if, I can't deal with it, but one of my teammates can, I can go ahead and shoot one of the torpedoes, take it off the board. If you notice, they're finite. Take it off the board, and we don't have to draw that card. Really useful, but in my games, we generally don't do it very often. Mainly because there's other shit that needs to be done. One last thing to touch base on. Whenever you draw one of these cards, for 3 command, whoever's turn it is, can override this card, and it doesn't happen. So we draw this. Oh, shit. Comm systems are offline, and all players on the bridge are going to be wounded. That's going to screw us, and whoever's turn it is, and only whoever's turn it is, unless, of course, you have, I think it's the diplomat, can pay 3 with their discount. So if they got, say, a discount of 2, they only got to pay 1 blue, and then this never happens. It just goes straight to the discard pile. Generally, that doesn't happen either, because command cards are usually being spent on battle plans. But usually you'll have, each person might try to keep a hold of 1 or 2 just in case. And then, again, I could go over all these stations. I'm really not going to, because on it, when you get the game, everything you can do is on the station. See, the station that's related to it. And you see these little dotted lines. Let me zoom in. You see the little dotted lines coming off. So if you want to go to the research station, to research an anomaly, it's right here. It's in the science lab. It's very, very simple. I taught my 8-year-old how to play this game, and she had no problem. One last thing. You also have items here that you can get. They're 2-use items. So, for example, let's go with the torch. You get it at side A, and spend 2 less engineering when making a repair, and then flip to side B. Really good. You flip it to side B, it's not quite as good. Spend 1 less engineering, and then you remove it from the game. So they're 2-use items, but they are incredibly useful. And let's see, I think that's about it. It's a very simplistic game. You have, a certain number of bad enemy, or a certain number of enemies. If you ever have to place one and you can't, game over. Your ship has been overrun. And then each character has their own little stand-up. Again, these are a pain in the ass to get on. I think I put this guy on green by accident. You can see up here. Yeah, I put him on green by accident and had to peel him off. And then put it over on the white because I thought, the green here. For some reason, I thought he was green. I don't know. I'm just an idiot, I guess. The rulebook, let's see here. The rulebook reads well enough, I guess. I mean, I didn't really have any problems. It does a pretty good job at explaining, everything, showing pictures and how everything works. There haven't really been any questions, really. They even have an example of play. Bad stuff. I think there's a... There we go, strategy guide. Kind of things to keep in mind. One thing, if you do get this game, comms and the teleporter are arguably the most important systems in the game. The first thing you should research is going to be this. The shield modulator. Reducing any new damage to the shields by 10%. You get that ASAP. Because most of the yellow alert, I think there's only one, most of the yellow alert is all 10%. So, provided you can keep ships off your ass that up at another 10%, you're basically not going to take shield damage during yellow alert. And you're also going to mitigate a lot. However, you notice, there are only 2 upgrade slots. So, the shield modulator is going to take up more. However, all of these are really... Come on, zoom, focus. There we go. All these are very circumstantial. 1 extra action per turn. These cost quite a bit to actually upgrade. So, certain ones, these ones aren't so much. These ones aren't so much. So, I mean, they're all really good, but, they're really, really, like, this one's stupid expensive. We generally don't waste time on these. We usually save science cards to fight anomalies, and we research the shield modulator, and that's it. So, anywho, that is The Captain is Dead. Let's go to final thoughts.
Alright, The Captain is Dead. I've played this 5, 6 times maybe. Probably a little bit more than that. I'd say close to 7 or 8. But, fantastic game. Easily, I love the theme. Again, really could have used with the Star Trek licensing. Would have made this game top notch. Not a bad game. I love the game. It's just the thematic. But there's never a time in the game that you feel like you're doing well, that you're comfortable. You're like, oh, we're doing all right. No, every turn you're like, oh my god, there's 2 ships surrounding us. One's teleporting bad guys on to the damn bridge every fucking turn, and we have another one shooting at us. We're in Orange Alert. We've made a single repair to the warp core, and we're almost dead. We need to start doing this. Or our shields are at 10%, and we're not even out of yellow alert yet. And just never once in this game have I played and felt like we were going to win. Even the 2 times that we did win. Again, out of about 8, 9 times, I've won twice. But even the 2 that we won, we thought we were going to lose up until the turn before the last. The game, for whatever fucking reason, has variants for, hard modes and any rolls and things to make the game harder. And I don't know why the hell you would ever want that. The game is almost too hard. Like, if that yellow alert deck fucks you early, you're screwed. But that aside, it is a fantastic game. It's very easy to teach. Again, as long as my 8-year-old can play it. And she was only half paying attention to the rules, because everything you can do when teaching it, today I taught 2 new people to play it. I sat the board down and explained to them how actions worked and the discounts, and went, everything you can do is around the board, follow the dotted line. So if you see that this can be done, then just follow the line, and this is where you need to be to do it. One thing I probably should have mentioned while I was showing it, some of these systems can be destroyed where you remove the card entirely. And, let's see, it takes, because you have this, and then you have this side, which means they're destroyed, or is offline. There we go, that's what I was looking for. It means they're offline. If some of things will say the teleporter is destroyed, meaning you take this card off of the board, and it's now going to cost 2 actions, 2 tactical, and 4 fucking science to reinstall the system. Generally speaking, when systems are destroyed, they're not fucking coming back. Because cards are really hard to come by. It takes actions to get new cards. And that's why comms are infinitely valuable, because you can have one person just pull in a shitload of cards, and then you're using comms to take cards from other people in your turns, so you're not having to waste turns to go to cargo bay or the CPU cord. You could be around the ship where you need, and it's a phenomenal game. Get it. It is, like I said, $50, and the components are a little on the cheap side. I think $40 would have been a fair price, but I don't regret getting it. One of my favorite co-op games. I think I actually like it better than Pandemic, purely because it's something you can pull out and play just faster and easier. There's less cleanup. I mean, hell, you saw the components. So it's a great game. Check it out. You can give this give this video a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time in the quarantine.